Hey guys, hope y'all are doing well. Today I just wanted to sit down and share the story time video with you guys about something that happened to me during this past school year, my first year of teaching, and I just wanted to share this with you guys because I think it'll be good for me to kind of talk it out and talk through it as I'm always trying to grow as a teacher and as a person. And I think I hope that it helps, some of you guys who are maybe first year teachers as well, or you're studying to be a teacher, you're a student teacher, substitute teacher, anything, wherever you are on your teacher journey. Hopefully this will help you, and you won't do what I did and kind of freak out about, small things. So yeah, let's just get into the story time. So this happened about, I want to say, 2 months in to my first year of teaching this past year, 2019-2020 school year. I was doing well in my first year. I adapted to life in the classroom really well, surprisingly well for me, because I'm such an introvert. I really honestly didn't think I was going to be able to do this job, but after I got into it and I started actually doing the work, I realized how much I loved it, and that I kind of just had a knack for it that I was just not expecting, because like I said, I'm very, very, very shy and very introverted. So I was just kind of amazed and, thankful to God for giving me favor on my job and for giving me the ability to do my job. And I was happy that everything was going pretty well. The first week of school, I floundered a little bit because, it was my first time in a classroom setting where I wasn't a student because I didn't go the traditional route for my certification. I'm alt certified, so I went to school and got a 4-year degree. Then a couple years later, I decided I felt the call to teach, so I started going through an alternative program. And so this was my first time in a classroom setting where I was not a student or observing a teacher. This was, it was my classroom and I had to do the teaching, so it was just kind of overwhelming at first. And so the first week I struggled a little bit. I struggled a lot of it. I floundered. But like that second week on, I had made up in my mind that what I wanted to focus on that year was getting my classroom management system down. And so I worked on that and I did that, and I felt really confident about my classroom management. And so when I got my classroom management down, I felt like the kids started to learn more. They started to respect me and each other more. And it just made everything better and smoother. But like a couple months into my first year teaching, we had a fire drill. Now, this was not our first fire drill of the year. It was maybe the third one we'd had, and so because we have to have so many every year, so but this was my first time doing the fire drill with this class. And so it did not go well. What happened was, I'll tell you what happened, and then I'll tell you what I feel like were my mistakes and how I corrected it going forward. So what happened was, we were doing our work and everything, and the alarm went off for the fire drill. Cool. So I instructed the kids. All the kids hopped up at once, and there's like 20 something of them, and there's one of me. So all the kids hopped up at once. I am yelling over the loud alarm for the drill, and I'm not a very loud person anyway, so I'm yelling over the loud alarm for the drill. Guys, go outside, line up beside the lockers. That was it. And so they start filing out my door, rushing out of the door. I come outside after I've grabbed the emergency folder with all their names in it and, everything we need to, complete the drill successfully. And my kids are not in the hallway. I teach 6th grade, if you didn't know. So my students are not in the hallway. I look down the side of the hallway we're supposed to go, our route. We all have different routes for the fire drill. I look down there. Kids are not going that way like they're supposed to be going. They're going the entire other way with the other hallway, which would takes us longer to get outside. The point is to get outside as quickly as possible. Takes us longer to get outside. They're gone because I later found out that another teacher just saw the kids standing outside in the hallway, and she was like, come on, follow us, because, I wasn't outside with my kids, which I should have been, but my problem was I had not practiced the procedure with my kids. I'd done it verbally, sort of. I kind of glossed over the drills, but I hadn't practiced the procedures on the first day like we practiced a couple of our other procedures, entering, exiting the classroom, turning in work, all of that. But I didn't practice the drills with them, and that was my fault. And so I just was feeling really bad about that. Finally caught up to the kids, was able to call roll and everything. We were in our wrong spot, and my administrators saw us in the wrong spot, so I was just feeling bad about that, and I was just like really beating myself up about it, really discouraged. And so as I'm coming back into the building with the kids, I'm discouraged about that. That's on my mind, and I'm dwelling on that. And so then we have another drill. We had a lockdown drill where you have to have your door locked, lights off, window in your classroom covered, the window that faces the hallway covered, and everybody's got to be quiet, locks, lights, out of sight. So I did that, lights off, window covered, kids quiet, and we're just sitting there waiting, and people conducting the drill will come around and try to get, open your classroom door, get inside your classroom. I didn't lock the door. I was so frazzled from the fire drill going wrong that I didn't lock the door to my classroom. And so if there was an actual intruder, it's very, very dangerous, putting everybody in there at risk, because I forgot to lock the door, and my door is always locked. I never leave my door unlocked. But we just come back in from the fire drill, so I just unlocked the door. I was telling the kids, hey, you always wait for me when we were doing the fire drill, talking to them about that, and then the lockdown drill happened, and I just forgot to lock my door back. And so I messed up 2 drills in one day, and I was just so discouraged. Like, I cried later. I was crying about it when I was by myself. I was like, I'm not going back. I'm so embarrassed. I quit. This isn't for me. I thought I was a good teacher, but I'm not a good teacher. I can't get my procedures right. I'm just, I was just beating up on myself so bad. And so I just, I had a couple people in my life. My SPED co-teacher, first of all, she was just so sweet to me. She was like, you are a great teacher, and so what, everyone makes mistakes, everybody, you're learning, it's your first year, and I guarantee you they'd rather have a teacher here that messes up a couple procedures than a teacher here that doesn't care about the kids, or that doesn't know how to teach the kids in a way that they'll learn. Because I'm proud of myself, you guys, that I really do feel like I did a good job with my kids, and I feel like they learned a lot. And a lot of them told me that they learned a lot, that this was the most they had learned in a reading class, And so that just made me feel better when she said that. And I thought about it, and I was like, she's right. I am doing my best. I care about these kids. I care about them learning. And, I made one mistake, and it's okay. And then my mom, who's also in the education field, she actually works at the elementary school, and I work at the middle school. And I called her during my planning period, and, I cried to her because I'm so hard on myself. And that's the point of this, is I want you guys to know that it is okay. You're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make more mistakes, I'm sure. And I'll know next time not to be so hard on myself. And so that was all my mom was telling me, was don't be so hard on yourself. You've come so far. You're doing so well. These kids need you. And, you need them. And I do need them. I grew so much through this experience of teaching. And, So that just made me feel better, and it gave me the courage to come back and continue to do my job. The very next day, that night, I came home and hammered out, clear procedures for drills. And the next day during class, we talked about it. I talked about it with all of my classes. I practiced the drills with all of my classes. Some tips for drills is what I do now is I don't care what's going on. We all stay seated until I tell you to line up. I get my materials. Then I go out into the hallway. We line up. We don't move. I don't care who's telling you to do anything. You only listen to me. We don't move until I say move. We all know where we're going. I have different kids to do different things. So one of them makes sure that the door is closed behind us. One of them makes sure that everybody from our class is in front of them. And, just I have kids that I can trust in every class to do that. And so that's advice, for you guys, because I know kids get, oh, it's a fire drill. They get all kind of, excited about a break in the monotony or whatever. And yeah, so it can get a little out of hand. So my advice is airtight procedures, and my advice to myself is airtight procedures, and now I have those, and I'll have them in place next year and go over them on the first day of school with all my other procedures so that, this won't happen again next year. But I'm glad that it happened this year, because I would have never known that I needed to correct that in my own teaching. And so, yeah, that's the story of how I messed up the fire drill and the lockdown drill. None of my administrators ever scolded me or anything about it. I have the greatest administrators ever, and yeah, I grew from it, I learned from it, and I'm happy that it happened and that I learned from it. So that's all. Yeah, so like this video, comment, subscribe, do whatever the YouTubers tell you guys to do or whatever. And if you have a story you want to share with us in the comment section, feel free. I'd love to hear them and respond and everything. If you guys want more storytime videos, I've got a ton from this first year of teaching. Just let me know. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.